Good afternoon, everybody. This is Damon Bond of Bond Realty Group, LLC, licensed in Connecticut, licensed in New York as well. I'm a real estate broker in the state of Connecticut. I'm a real estate agent, salesperson in the state of New York. Hope everybody's doing good. The temperature just dropped over here in the Northeast and the Connecticut, New York metro area. So it's much windier, cold today. We're having some good weather, very mild temperatures the past few days. I hope everybody's doing good. So we're continuing our segment, a series about real estate in general, and we concluded the other day with the home buying process. Now, I had some people email me and ask me some questions about what about the sellers. So yes, I said that I was going to do something for the sellers, and I'm going to start a series doing from the seller's perspective. And by the way, for you sellers out there, the buyer's perspective can work for you as well, because let's say you haven't bought in about 10, 15 years. Things are changing in real estate a great deal since that time. So, this would be good for you to use as well. If you like what I'm saying, you can always share it on Facebook, on my Facebook, or you can like it for me. And any questions, observations, comments will be welcome. You can email me at dbond011@gmail.com. That's dbond011@gmail.com. All right. So you want to sell your home. All right. So whether you own your home for 3 years or for 30 years is a pretty big decision to make. And I'm going to take you to the steps and things that you can do. The first thing you want to do, even before you do anything else, is I would say certainly declutter, especially if you have kids or you may be empty nesters and you still have, juniors, old soccer ball up in the attic or something like that. You certainly want to declutter your place. So declutter means what? You can give to Goodwill, donate to the Salvation Army, those things you don't need. Have a tag sale, have a garage sale, sell at the flea market, whatever you may want to do. And the purpose of this is because you're going to move somewhere, all right? So whether it's down the street or down the state or out of state, to a different locale, you're going to be moving, and it's better to do this now as opposed to you get an offer for the place and you're going to be closing in 30 days and you got to scramble. So that's the first thing you want to do. You certainly want to declutter your home. Now, some real estate brokers will say, you should remove, momentums from your refrigerator and all that. No, keep those things there. That's fine. If you have an attic, go in the attic. See what you don't need, clean it out. This is a great time for some deep cleaning. Basement, once again, clean that out as well, whether it's finished or unfinished, especially if it's unfinished. We tend to throw a lot of stuff in the basement, so you want to clean that out. If you have a garage and you never parked your car in that garage because all your equipment's in there, clean that out as well. Clean out any nuances and things like that. Get rid of furniture that you don't want anymore if you want to donate it, or if your cousin Louie wants something, all right? So basically you want to downsize, you want to declutter everything. That's the first step you want to do. Another thing you want to do is look around and see, what improvements you could be made to the house, what improvements you can make to the house. Now, I'm not saying go crazy and put a new kitchen in or anything like that. If you are a carpenter or a contractor, you can do that stuff, and it's not going to cost you and break the bank. By all means, do it. I wouldn't do it for a couple of reasons. Number one, that's not necessary to do because your taste may be different from somebody else's taste. That's the first thing. And number two is this cost prohibitive in some cases to do that? So you want to look at, minor things that you can afford to do either yourself or you can hire somebody to do it for you cheaply. So this means what? This means in terms of inside the property and the interior of the property. If you notice that, there may be some streaks on the wall. I know little kids like to write on, the walls and stuff like that with crayons, Put a fresh coat of paint in, do a neutral color. So you may want to do that. And plus, you're going to be living there anyway until you sell it. So you want to look good. You're going to enjoy it. If you notice, some tiles may be missing from the bathroom or something like that, that's something you could take care of. That's something relatively easy. So any holes, patch them up. You could take care of that. If you have carpet, notice that the carpet maybe looks a little bit tattered. You may want to do that as well. Clean the carpet. You can do it yourself. You can hire, the deep cleaning people. It's about $100 or so, depending on how big the house is. So give it a good, cleaning, especially if you have pets and whatnot. Get any pet odors out. So that's what you want to do. You want to clean out the place, give it a good deep cleaning. Any light fixtures, that could be replaced or spruced up a little bit. You want to change that. That's something easy to do. If you got some blinds that seen better days, you could change your blinds out. All right, all these things. Remember, this is your home, so you want your place to be comfortable while you and or your family, living on the premises. This is your property. So that's interior. Exterior of the house, just instead of just you can tackle the lawn. So instead of just the usual, cutting the lawn like you do every Saturday or something like that, really see what you can do. Really spruce up the lawn. Feed it, the seeds and whatnot. The backyard, if there's any debris around, you may want to get that up. All right, so the house doesn't look too bad. If there's anything that you could do on the outside, so let's say if you have vinyl siding, then you're fine. If your house has to be painted, that's something you can do yourself, particularly if it's a ranch or maybe a cape. You can do that yourself. So basically, you want to spruce up the place. You want curb appeal. That's what I was looking for. You want to have curb appeal for your premise. So that's what you could do in terms of that. So assuming that you got the decluttering done, assuming that you got the place, the outside, the exterior, you have that curb appeal done, what next? Well, what next is this, and I always recommend people to do this. What you may want to do is you want to do two things if you're really serious about to sell your property. Number one, I would get a home inspection. Yes, a home inspection. No, you're not buying your own property back. A purpose of a home inspection is because sometimes you do all the visible things, but you're really not sure, if something is hidden, you don't know what it's about, and it's good to have because remember, the last time a home inspection was done on property is when you bought that house. So let's say you bought the house 15 years ago, right? I'm sure there's something 15 years later that's something good use some attention to. Because, some of us like to try to maintain our property, which is good. But a lot of us are busy. We're working, we're trying to pay the bills, and we still got to spend time with the family and kids and what have you, or, you have time for that. So we do our best to do the cosmetic things. But, you just want to make sure that, the roof is still good. We want to make sure that there's no problem with the foundations. And the reason why you want to do these things, an inspection, is because when the buyers do their inspection on your property, they'll fuss at things, trust me, just like how you did it when you were buying that house. You want to make sure that there is no curveballs. You want to make sure that, so let's say, for example, a new roof is needed, right? That could be a pretty big job. That, all right, the place already needs a new roof, and you could price your house accordingly. So let's say you say, well, I'm not going to be living here. I don't want to put a roof on a house, right? That's fine. So when you come up with a sales price, you could take that in consideration. So that's why you want an inspection done. So that way, if it's something you can handle or, it's a weekend project you and your friends can handle and do in families, right? By all means, you go and do it. So it's not a problem. If it's something larger, you can be like, well, it's not really, feasible to do this now as we're going to sell. You could build that in and be like, hey, listen, you could tell your agent, or get to that in a minute, that, we know that, this needs a new foundation. That's an extreme, but we know that this is not working well. So that's why we price it aggressively, so that way it can sell and there's no problems. And it's going to be an as-is sell. We already know what's wrong with it. So you know exactly what is going on with your property. So that's why you want to do an inspection. An inspection, depending on the type of property you have, could be anywhere between $300 and $500. All right. It won't hurt to do a termite inspection as well to make sure that there's no carpenter ants, especially if your house is a frame house. Or there's no type of termites as well. So that's the first thing you want to do. And once again, this will just be for informational purposes for you, so you'll know. The second thing I always recommend doing is I recommend doing an appraisal. Why not? A lot of savvy home sellers would do this. Now, let's say, once again, I always like to use nice whole numbers, so excuse me for that. But let's say, your house appraised at $300,000, right? That does not mean you necessarily have to put the house at $300,000, nor does that mean you necessarily get $300,000 for your house. All the appraisal does is it says, all right, if a bank was to lend money, this is how much, according to, data and research area and stuff like that, this is how much the house is worth. Doesn't mean people will pay that much money for your property. They can, but it doesn't always mean that. And that's the problem with appraisal. People, get hung up on that. People have their perceived value of what a house is worth. So just keep that in mind. So you want to get an appraisal about $500. Once again, this is for you and for your purposes, so that way you have an idea of how much, what you're going for a price for. So those are two things you want to do. A lot of times we think of home inspection and appraisal for buyers, but no, sellers can do them as well. I think it's a great way for you to have an idea realistically of where your house is. Third item is this. Now that you're going to put your house on the market, how well are you able to sustain? Let's say, for example, nobody buys your house, nobody buys your property, and you moving somewhere, wherever, it may be an apartment or you move, whatever, you're moving somewhere, right? Can you maintain two residencies, particularly if your first property is not paid off? If you still have a mortgage on it, it's not paid off. Can you afford? Can you associate the carrying cost? The carrying cost, of course, would be the mortgage itself. If there's a mortgage on the property, if there's not a mortgage on the property, can you afford to still pay the taxes on it? Because you still have to do that. And or can you afford the upkeep of the utilities and things like that, and gas? Because you don't want to turn off the gas, especially during wintertime if you live in the New York metro area. And the reason why is because when it gets cold, you don't want them pipes to burst. Those pipes burst, you're going to have a headache. All right, you're gonna have more things to worry about than a few $100, gas bill that you want to pay to, Con Edison, or if you're up here in this neck of the woods, Southern Connecticut Gas Company or Eversource. You want to keep the utilities on to keep the house warm. You don't have to blast the heat, but you want to certainly keep it 60 degrees just to keep them pipes warm. So if we get freezing days like it is today here, in the metro area of New York, you could take care of that. So this is, tailored obviously to the region where I practice real estate, New York, Connecticut. But this is a national thing. So whether you're in California or Nevada or Oregon or Texas or Florida, this applies to you equally as well. So you just want to keep these things in mind. Now, once you have all these things in place, you need to choose a real estate agent to sell your house. I wouldn't worry about experience too much necessarily. If your property is a regular property, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, whatever it may be, 1 bathroom, whatever it is, bathroom and a half, pretty much selling property is not that hard. It's not that serious. Only if you, let's say the property was derelict, then it could be, a problem. If it was, there could be some problems in other scenarios. But for the most part, though, a house is a house. So when you get the agent, you already have an idea of how aggressively to price your house. And that's something you want to keep in mind. And we're going to be talking more about that in the next video segment. So if there's any questions, you always email me at dbond011@gmail.com, dbond011@gmail.com. You like it on Facebook. Let me know what you think. And be well, be strong. This is Damon Bond from Bond Realty Group, LLC. Have a pleasant and enjoyable day. Good day.